Shield continues. They have another not another tag team title match, another championship match on the card. Finally, after weeks of this pretty much seeming like it was a lock, they waited until the last minute, essentially. But we do still have it. Dolph Ziggler gets a shot at the United States Championship that Dean Ambrose is currently holding and will continue to hold because Dolph Ziggler is not going to win it. Both because there's no point in Dolph Ziggler winning it and sticking around the mid card, and the fact that Dean Ambrose is not going to drop it to somebody like Dolph Ziggler, who they continually make lose on a recent basis, especially with this stable going on. And we touched upon that before. It's kind of stupid for them to start off a pay-per-view by having their champions lose. It makes them look nowhere near as threatening and credible. So this is going to be a good match where Ziggler just gets his ass kicked, I think. Maybe it's punishment, maybe it isn't, but Ziggler's not going to look really that great at the end of this.
I think he's going to look great, but the Shield and Triple H's faction are going to make it look so that they'll set out on their own ways to make Ziggler lose. I think he's going to look strong because he has to. If they bury him in this, it's just going to kill any storyline that they've got going on at the moment with Ziggler.
That's what I'm afraid of. Make an example out of the guy.
But it's stupid. It's counterproductive. But again, it's WWE.
Right.
It goes back to that whole nut cutting thing. You know, it's like here's a guy who the fans got over because they respected him as a worker. You know, they say it's because of the whole, you know, him being outspoken, but like I said, they're just doing it because they want to make sure that no, this guy is not a big star. Cheer for the guys we want you to cheer for. It's so. This is one of the reasons why the WWE product angers me, because it really does take the power away from the fans, even though they say power to the people and whatnot.
What do you think, Braden? Ziggler gonna get a championship for more than a minute and then not have another concussion, or?
No, he's not winning the U.S. title. I mean, he's already had a reign with that belt before anyway. I don't think he's going to be made to look like shit in the match. Even in a loss, it's gonna at least be a hard fought battle for the championship. He's just gonna be the one to take the pin in the end. I don't get what you guys mean by there's a potential for him to be buried here. I don't really think so. I think he's just nothing wrong with taking a loss. And he doesn't really need the United States Championship anyway.
But so I'm worried about maybe not necessarily that he'll be buried, but that he won't look like somebody who should have won the championship. I think that they're going to book this where Dean Ambrose just wrestles another match against him and beats him, and that's it. And Ziggler looks like another contender, kind of like when they had Kofi Kingston against Dean Ambrose, or when he faces people like R-Truth. I don't think that Ziggler is really going to be made to look like anything special, and that will hurt him just as much as if they try to say that he's not, because it'll kind of be like, we all know that this guy can do better, and you're kind of I guess you could say cutting his nuts off if you're gonna do the Miguel thing. You know, you're kind of hurting him and stunning his growth.
He's there to put over Dean Ambrose. That's basically all it is.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to give Dean Ambrose a great matchup, and at the end of the day, Dean Ambrose is going to look better, and it doesn't matter how Dolph Ziggler looks, because apparently they just don't want him to be any more than what he is.
Your thoughts,
unfortunate.
Yeah, this is just another filler match for Dean Ambrose. There's nothing really special going into it. Maybe down the line we'll see Dolph Ziggler get more involved in this feud with the establishment, or what's their name again? The
administration.
The academy, whatever the fuck it is. Yeah, maybe we'll see Dolph Ziggler get more involved. But as far as this match, it's just another time killer for Dean Ambrose to meaninglessly continue being United States champion. So he'll continue holding on to it. He'll probably continue to hold on to it for a while longer. And
Survivor Series, I think.
Yeah, he'll be the first out of the Shield to lose his belt. I could see him losing it around Survivor Series, but I still hold that the tag team titles will still be around their waist till WrestleMania.
But I don't think
Reigns involved.
Yeah, but I don't think Ambrose will lose it to like someone like Ziggler. He'll probably lose it to somebody else that the WWE has ready to come up in terms of their faces. I wouldn't be surprised if he even loses it to Rhodes when Rhodes makes his return back to the company.
Yeah, I
But
can see that.
in a sense, with Ziggler at the moment, I think they know where they're directing the storyline. So we've got to have faith in you have to admit, even we can sit here and bitch and moan about it, but they've done a very good job keeping us intrigued. So let's see how the story progresses, and maybe we might even see Ziggler get a disqualification win. Who knows?
Hopefully they don't make him look like a jackass. There's potential that they don't, but I'm really worried about this pay-per-view. I think that this is going to be one of those overbooked, let's just make everything about Triple H and cut the time from matches and have a lot of backstage segments and a lot of bullshit kind of pay-per-views. I'm really not looking forward to Night of
The
Champions.
faction could have a clean sweep in this.
I fully expect them
And
to.
I do
No,
believe we're going to
absolutely.
see a lot more new members joining the faction, and also we're going to see storylines intertwining.
I
Because
think
at the
it's
moment, they've been jumping back and forth between heel and face. Because you notice the way they're treating Paul Heyman and the way that they're treating everybody else. They're just jumping back and forth. So we're going to see how this goes.
I firmly believe that Paul Heyman's going to be a member of the administration sooner or later. I think it's too early to strike that moment. I think you need to wait another pay-per-view because like you said, this is the first pay-per-view for the administration. I expect them to get the clean sweep, but I don't think they're going to really pull the trigger on a new member yet. I mean, look at the
Well,
NWO. It took them how long to bring
yeah,
in their
but
first member?
think about it this way: where if CM Punk wins this match against Axel
Well,
and
before you
Heyman,
start defending your CM Punk
uh,
thing, we're gonna move that on to the next part.
okay,
Part 8, handicap elimination match, not for the Intercontinental title. I will bitch and complain about that again. CM Punk versus Paul Heyman and Curtis Axel.